Hello there. Happy end of the year. Happy New Year. Happy New You in the new year. My name is Martha Creek. You can contact me, marthacreek.com, and I invite you to do so if there's any way in the world I can support you, anyhow, anyway. Today's service is a little different because we're going to do a burning bowl ceremony. And it's a chance if we were in person, we would actually have little pieces of flash paper and write it out maybe, or larger pieces of paper, or reams of paper for some of us, if you're like me, of things I want to settle, get new perspectives on, let go, surrender to, and make space to create something far more interesting to me. So virtually here, I'll invite us to do it in a way that we can still do it even though we're not in person. So as we presence ourselves, begin to think about why would we even do such a thing as this? And that we sing and say and have a sincere desire, most of us, for some kind of peace on earth. And certainly the message of the holidays, the holy days, is that the message that God is present, that God is presence. There's presence in the presence. And that God is here as us, with us, for us. This is the basis of our teaching. It's what Jesus taught. That presence, God is within us all, as us all. And that heaven then is at hand, closer than our hands and our feet. So the presence of God is always with us. And how can it be that we are not at peace? And that we still have these strong animalistic tendencies and desires and preferences and demands, willfulness and stubbornness and all matters of things like that. Then it's real easy, if we're not careful, to slide off into thinking about what they ought to do and what I need them to do and what I want them to do and what they should do and what they shouldn't do and what the government should do and what the government shouldn't do. Someone else should do something. Someone else should be different. And that we individually, then, the more we're focused on the external, the less we focus on the internal and what we can actually do something about. So one of my friends and colleagues wrote a story in their newsletter about circus elephants and how they're trained and taught. And the story goes that when the circus elephants when they're babies, when these little babies are born, their trainers put a steel band around one of their legs with a long chain on it and then attach that to a stake in the ground. So the young elephant will try to free themselves by pulling against the chain. And they don't have the strength to pull this stake out of the ground. So they're unable to move. They're not able to get away. They're unable to escape. So then over the years, months and years, the elephant grows, gets larger, gets stronger, and at some point could actually easily uproot that stake. And the elephant still doesn't. He won't. She won't. For so long as the animal wears that same steel band around the leg, this kinesthetic feeling of this feeling of being bound, it will no longer even try to move. It will give up. It adapts. It adopts. So we've learned early in life that it is useless to struggle like the elephant against the chain. We've learned to a degree, why bother? What are we struggling against? So like the elephant, we can come but resigned to situations. And if we're not careful, then this becomes the truth of us. This becomes the reality, although it's not actually true. It's not actually. So just like an adult elephant typically is 10 or 11 feet tall, weighs thousands of pounds, tons, and has the strength to easily lift who knows how many thousands of pounds. How could it be that such an animal could be kept in place by one band around one leg and a stake in the ground, only because they have been conditioned throughout their life, through the past, and now have an unquestioned limiting belief that this is their reality. And even though it's not true, they don't recognize the truth or question the truth. So the animal then does not know that after only a short time, we've actually grown up. We're not those little kids anymore. We're not that little thing anymore. We're not as vulnerable now. We have more power. We have more capacities, more resources. And we also have the chance to make one small change that could literally uproot some of our binding and some of the ways that we're bound from our past conditioning, just like this little elephant could know if they tested it to see. So our limited beliefs, old beliefs, learned patterns, these are our binding. This is our chain around our legs, so to speak. And so instead of that's just the way it is about our lives, and not to become so resigned to this, but to say, what is it I can actually change? What can I change? What can I do? So that it's truer for us that there's something I can do. I can't, that poem I read earlier in this, like I can't stop bullets from flying. I can't stop a war. I can't stop a wife from becoming a widow. I can't. What can I do? And what old belief has got me bound up in believing I can't, or why bother? So the things that hold this world away from peace, my own world away from peace, and that's my meditations lately this week have been to give me the gift of peace. What would I gift myself? The gift of peace. And to continue to do my spiritual practices, to question what I believe in, look at my own condition, and make small, significant, small changes in my own behavior that can immediately set me free again and again and again. Interaction to interaction, person by person, personality by personality, situation by situation. One small change that I can make in those moments, in those interactions. And then I can impress on my mind and on my heart a new reality, that I have the ability to make this change. I have the power and the responsibility and the inner authority to bring about greater peace in me and in the world. So I'm looking at where I can do that. And that's what this ceremony is about today, to see what we can do individually and then collectively to make a real difference. Make a difference in our own lives, in our own families, in our own households, and therefore in the world. So just like we are not the people we were even this morning or yesterday, last year, 5 years ago, even a minute ago, we do not have to remain chained to the patterning, to the ideas, the false beliefs, the error thinking of who we've innocently fallen under the spell to believe. So we can come to believe that we're not permanently tied to these bonds. And some of the binding that we have, the bondage that I'm in, are due to my old conditioning, old failures, old hurts, old lifestyles, resentments, fears, grudges, guilt, fill in the blank. So what can we do from here? And just like that animal, that elephant, can change any moment that they understood their own true nature. And if to the degree that they understood their own strength, their own power, they wouldn't be in that bondage anymore. So today is about accepting a new image of ourselves, getting a new idea of ourselves as an empowered child of God, children of God, who has some will, some choice to choose peace, to choose freedom, and to reach for God as God is never left us, is reaching for us greater and greater levels of potentiality, possibilities of good. So as we're moving into a whole new year with more unlimited potential than we've ever known in all of our lifetime, regardless of our age, and filled with a potential not only for a deeper inner peace in us, but therefore, whatever we do in us, we've contributed to the whole. So, can you join me then as we move into this time of ceremony to identify some place in your life that you feel like you're being held back, something's got you bound up or in bondage of some sort? And begin to identify old hurts, frustrations, irritations, anger, rage, sadness, despair that also hold you back. What are some of those? And places in your life, situations or circumstances in your life where it sure may feel like or seem like that God's not there, that God is not present. You may have a list. So we presence ourselves now with clear, purposeful intention to take control over what we carry into the new year. And aware of the importance of this, the vital nature of this for our own spiritual self-care, our own emotional self-care, and our physical self-care, that this is vital for our well-being. So we're making some choice today to leave behind a few things, to surrender a few things, to set free some things, to lay some things at this altar of love today. Allow your heart now to guide you as you get quiet and still, relax more deeply. Maybe close your eyes for just a few seconds. Just close your eyes and ask your heart to tell you what to let go. Let the heart guide you in some things that you can stop doing. And ask your heart then, where are you in bondage? Where are you not free? Show me. Show me. So there's burdens seen and burdens unseen. burdens we know about consciously and burdens that are unconscious to us. Reveal this. Show us. Show me. And I devoutly am ready to surrender this. I'm devoutly ready to step out of this. Some of these old pains and old hurts and frustrations. So, with your eyes opened or closed, take a big deep breath and imagine a zipper on your whole being, a zipper from the crown of your head all the way down to your feet, and unzip. Unzip. And wiggle your way out, like step out of that old skin, just like a snake shedding its skin. Step out of these old pains, old hurts, frustrations, resentments, anything that's got you bound, anything that is your thief of joy, a thief of presence, any addictions, distractions, tendencies, animalistic behaviors. Step out, step forward into presence. You might wiggle a little, shake it off, let it fall, and let it return for compost. Let it go back into the ethers. The heaviness of that, the manure, the smell of that become fertilizer for something new for you. Get a sense of a greater lightness. The grace of God here in this new way of being, a freedom, a liberation, lighter. And get a sense of being freer of that it gives us a closer relationship with God, with presence. That we're not as foggy now, that our vision is clearer, we're lighter, that we're freer then, that we don't have to seek worthiness from anything external or people, places, situations, roles, professions. And get a sense of awakening to the gift of life itself, that it's all a gift. This changes everything. That we are equipped for what's here, and that we don't have to carry so much with us, the weight of that old, of the hurts. So we take a movement today. We take a moment here then to fully shed that off, an old skin, an old hurt. We leave it in a burning bowl. We imagine then a fire burning through us as we are unzipped. We let the fire of purification, the fire of God's love and life and order, strength and power and will and zeal and enthusiasm and faith and love burn off that which is heavy, distracting, that is a pull on our spirit, that is a bondage to our soul and spirit. We let the element of fire burn that out of us. We let the element of water come into us from our crown all the way through. We let it imagine a waterfall, stepping into a waterfall or a submerging, immersing yourself in a pool of water. And we let the water, the element of water, clear it, purify us, wash away anything that may be lingering, dissolve, wash away, wash away. We use the element of air, of the wind, to blow through us, to open our channels, open at the top now for new possibilities in our life, new potential in our way of being, new philosophies, new ways of thinking, new ways of being, new ways of expressing, new ways of presence, a new solid ground for ourselves. We let the wind, we let the air, the element of air, blow through us. We surrender then to the air, purification of the air, purification of water, a purification of fire, the wisdom of the fire to burn off everything that's not true, every false idea, every false notion. We open to that fire. And a big, deep breath. And notice what you're experiencing. And then zip yourself back up or not. Like, I'm going to be out here in a new way, a new potential, new me, new radiance, new light, a new zeal, a new use of my powers. And I'm going to be and express this in the world. That I'm freer now of counting, measuring, weighing. I'm free of notions of what I deserve and don't deserve and deciding who deserves. I'm aware of mercy and of grace and a hospitable way of being with myself and others. I create in me a world of grace and freedom. I'm a channel that's more open. So I flow forward. I flow through. I flow towards something that interests me. Something in you that is energetic, that is motivated to grow and to deepen, is alive. It cares about your inner life, your own joy, your own happiness. Feel the goodness of this impulse in you that you brought about in this practice today and in the practice many of you have had for decades. Let it grow in you. Let it have you. Let it be. Namaste, beloveds. Blessings to you always. Happy new you. Happy new ideas. Happy new practices. Happy new presence. And my deepest gratitude for you and you in the world. We were made for these times. We're equipped. Well equipped for whatever comes. So we change what we can, accept what we cannot, and wiser and freer to know the difference. And we begin again now. New, new, new. Born again this day. Blessings and love.